Make the galaxy great again. Revenge of the Trump. As the galaxy teetered on the brink of disaster with the execution of Order 66, a mysterious portal opened within the Jedi Temple. From it emerged an orange figure. It was Donald Trump. The Force itself seemed to have intervened, bringing a wild card in at a pivotal moment of galactic history. Confused yet undeterred, Trump surveyed his surroundings. The temple was in turmoil, with clone troopers turning against the Jedi. Al-Qaeda? He wondered aloud, quickly realizing the gravity of the situation. In the shadows, a figure observed Trump's arrival with keen interest. Anakin Skywalker, soon to be Darth Vader. Anakin had been moments from striking down the younglings when the approaching newcomer caught his eye. Trump, using his instincts for negotiation, described in detail in his book, The Art of the Deal, approached Anakin. "You look like someone who could use some help," he said, intuitively sensing Anakin's internal conflict. "I've made peace with North Korea and Iran. This'll be a piece of cake. Let's work something out." Anakin, driven by a desperate need to save Padme, believed destroying the Jedi was his only path. His master, Sidious, had promised him the power to prevent her death, a promise that fueled his descent towards the dark side. "My master said it's the only way to save Padme." "It's fake news," Trump said bluntly. "Your master is using you, just like Hillary used her people. You know she should be in prison, right? I mean, if Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes her think she can satisfy America? It's the same game here, Anakin. They promise you everything until they get what they want, and then you're expendable." Anakin's grip on his lightsaber tightened. Trump's words pierced through the veil of deceit and manipulation he had been under. He closed his eyes for a moment, searching the Force. In his heart, he felt the Force was guiding him to trust this orange man who could save them all, including Padme. "Can you help me save Padme?" he questioned, his voice a mix of hope and doubt. "Listen, I've dealt with liars and cheaters all my life," Trump continued. "Palpatine's no different. He's taking advantage of you, using your fear, your love, to control you. Join me, and we'll find another way to save Padme without destroying everything." The idea of an alternative path, one that could save Padme without the cost of his soul, appealed desperately to Anakin. He recognized he was being manipulated by Sidious as his only way to save Padme, forcing him to betray his friends, but perhaps he could avoid this terrible fate. "I will be your apprentice, my new master," said Anakin, kneeling before Trump, the weight of his previous choices heavy on his heart. "Show me this other way. You're hired. Now take me to this Sidious. He sounds like a real scumbag." But Darth Sidious, who had already sensed the anomaly in the Force, decided to meet this intruder himself, arriving at the temple entrance with his guards. "Sidious," said Anakin, alerting his new master to the presence of the old. As Darth Sidious approached, his eyes narrowed on the unexpected pair. "Vader, what is this treachery?" he hissed, his voice dripping with malevolence. Trump, unfazed by the Sith Lord's presence, stepped forward. "You must be the big guy here. Palpatine, heard a lot about you, not the good kind. You've been manipulating my new apprentice with fake news," he gestured towards Anakin. "Just like a corrupt politician, but I'm here to drain your swamp." Sidious, taken aback by Trump's audacity, sneered. "And who are you to challenge the power of the Sith?" Meanwhile, on Kashyyyk, Yoda, meditating amidst the chaos of the Order 66, felt a profound shift in the Force. His eyes snapped open, a realization dawning upon him. The true chosen one, Appeared he has, Yoda murmured. Bring balance to the Force. He will. Donald Trump, he is. Make the galaxy great he shall. Back at the Jedi Temple, the confrontation escalated. Anakin stood by Trump, his resolve strengthened by his new master's confidence. I'm done being your puppet, Sidious. I choose a different path. Sidious, enraged, unleashed a torrent of Force lightning towards Trump. In a swift move, Trump, guided by the Force, deflected the attack using a nearby piece of debris as a shield. The sight of Trump, a non-Force user, standing his ground against a Sith Lord, stunned everyone present. Seems I've got some tricks up my sleeve too, Trump quipped, surprising even himself. There's no need to go to war. How about we make a deal? Sidious, intrigued by this audacious being, replied, You are not of this galaxy. What could you possibly offer? Trump leaned in. I've brokered deals with nations, businesses, even TV networks. I sense divisions here, and I can help make this galaxy great again. I think not, hissed Sidious, drawing two red lightsabers and lunging towards Anakin and Trump. Anakin, reacting swiftly, ignited his own lightsaber, intercepting Sidious's deadly strike. The two engaged in a fierce duel, their blades clashing with intense fury. Trump, though lacking Anakin's combat skills, stood firm, a symbol of the alternative path he offered. Anakin, remember what's at stake. Trump shouted over the din of battle. We're fighting for Padme, for the galaxy's future. Amidst the chaos, a group of surviving Jedi, sensing the shift in the Force, arrived to confront the Sith Lord. Jedi Masters, leading the charge, joined the fight, blue and green lightsabers, a beacon of hope in the darkened temple. As the battle raged within the sacred walls of the Jedi Temple, Trump, newly imbued with an untrained yet potent connection to the Force, focused his will. With a determined furrow of his brow and an outstretched hand, he called upon his newfound powers. The very stones of the temple responded, rising from the ground to form a formidable wall around the perimeter. We're gonna build a wall, and the Sith are going to hate it, he declared, his voice echoing with a resolve as strong as the barrier he conjured. Sidious, now outnumbered, fought with desperate savagery. But the combined force of Anakin, Trump, and the Jedi began to overpower him. Anakin, fueled by a newfound purpose, fought not for anger or revenge, but for the future he desired with Padme. In the critical moment, as Sidious prepared to unleash another barrage of lightning, Trump stepped forward. Sidious, you're fired. Sidious, witnessing the tide turning against him, realized the battle was lost for now. His gaze lingered on Trump, a curious and dangerous anomaly, before retreating into the shadows from whence he came. This is not the end, he vowed, his voice a menacing whisper carried away to the winds of Mustafar. In the aftermath, the Jedi Temple remained standing but heavily scarred by the conflict. Trump's makeshift wall protecting it from the worst of the assault. Yoda and the other masters approached Trump, their expressions grave yet touched with relief. Saved us, you have, Yoda acknowledged, his gaze piercing. Strong in you, the Force is, but untrained you remain. Join the Jedi Council, you shall. We'll have the best Jedi training, the greatest the galaxy has ever seen, Trump assured, his confidence unwavering. And we'll win, bigly. The Masters exchanged glances, uncertain of what the future held with this unconventional warrior in their midst. Yet, the Force moved in mysterious ways, and they knew the path ahead needed all the strength it could gather. As Sidious sat in contemplation on the fiery vistas of Mustafar, furious at the unexpected turn of events, the air beside him shimmered. A portal, crackling with energy, opened abruptly, casting a glow against the dark, jagged rocks. The Sith Lord's eyes widened in surprise and caution as an elderly woman stepped out from the swirling vortex. The woman stood with an air of determination and experience, her gaze locking on to Sidious. "I believe we have much to discuss," she said, her voice carrying the weight of authority and unspoken power. Sidious's eyes narrowed as he assessed this unexpected intruder. "You are bold to confront me alone. Do you not realize the power I wield? I seek to join you and serve the dark side of the Force," said the newcomer, kneeling before Sidious. "I see," cackled Sidious with laughter. "Together we will destroy the Jedi and rule the galaxy." "Yes, Master." "Arise, Darth Hillary. Make this galaxy great again." Episode 2, The Clinton Menace. In the aftermath of Emperor Palpatine's unmasking as the Sith Lord Darth Sidious, the Galactic Republic found itself on the precipice of uncertainty. The Jedi Temple, still scarred from the recent conflict, buzzed with intense deliberations. The Jedi Council, guardians of peace and justice, faced a decision that would forever alter the course of the galaxy. Amidst the chaos, an unlikely figure emerged as a beacon of unconventional hope. Donald Trump, the man from another place, had demonstrated an unprecedented connection with the Force, challenging the Sith and offering a new path forward. His audacity and unorthodox methods had ignited a spark of potential that the Jedi could not ignore, helping them to break away from their outdated traditions. Chosen, he is. Lead the Republic. He must. Destroy the Sith. He shall, Yoda declares as the Masters debate the succession of the now exposed Chancellor. Trump sits beside his new apprentice, Anakin, among the Masters. He has given Obi-Wan due respect, informing him in person of Anakin's transition away from his former mentor. Obi-Wan conceded that he has nothing left to teach Anakin and that perhaps Trump, as his new master, could continue his training. With a profound sense of duty, the Jedi Council endorsed Trump as the new Chancellor of the Republic. As he is inaugurated in the Senate's grand halls, a wave of shock, relief, and curiosity sweeps through the assembly. The galaxy watches with bated breath as he pledges to make the galaxy great again. True to his word, Chancellor Trump wasted no time implementing his agenda. His first decree addressed the issue of mass immigration on Coruscant. Migrants were ordered to return to their homeworlds, a move Trump argued was essential for restoring order and ensuring the Republic's security. While some citizens applauded the swift action, others whispered in dark corners, wary of the divisive undertones and failing to see the bigger picture. Recognizing the persistent threat of the separatists, now aligned with Sidious, Trump understood he must sever this alliance to undermine the Sith's influence. During a meditation session with Master Yoda, Trump feels a disturbance in the Force. Concentrating with an intensity only a self-made billionaire with incredibly high approval ratings could muster, he summons a portal in the Jedi Council chambers. Through it steps a well-suited man from another dimension. "So glad you could join us, Vivek," Trump greets him. "Where am I?" Vivek asks, momentarily disoriented. "I've hired you to serve the Republic as Vice President. You're a great guy, and you'll do a great job," Trump asserts. Even Yoda was astounded by Trump's newfound control over the Force, summoning beings from other dimensions. Trump knew they need a different kind of warrior for this mission, a seasoned businessman like himself, capable of bridging formidable divides. Vivek, as the new envoy, will negotiate peace with the separatists. "What's my mission?" Vivek inquires. "To dismantle the Sith, an alliance we must forge first," explains Yoda with profound, mysterious words, which offer no real value to the conversation. We're up against real scumbags supporting the dark side, manipulated by fake news. We need to ally them with the good guys before they help the bad ones, Trump explains. Democrats? Vivek asks. Yeah, but not as bad. You'll negotiate as the Republic's ambassador, Trump says, conjuring a smaller portal with the Force through which drops a book into Vivek's hands. The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. Thanks, Vivek replies. Be cautious, we should. A master with the ambassador should go, Yoda suggests. Thus, Anakin and Obi-Wan are assigned as bodyguards for Ambassador Vivek's perilous mission. Aboard their transport, Vivek enlightens Anakin and Obi-Wan about the treachery and corruption of the Democrats and the Biden administration. So, is Biden a Sith Lord? Obi-Wan asks. He's not that sharp, to be honest, but he is a dark side Force user responsible for the suffering of millions, Vivek responds. Have you battled many Sith yourself, Ambassador? Anakin asked, intrigued. As a matter of fact, I have. I recently destroyed Nikki Haley and Chris Christie on national television. They succumbed to the dark side through greed and excessive lobbying, recounted Vivek. Ambassador, once we've eradicated the Sith from our galaxy, the Jedi will venture to your world to free it from the Democrats, Obi-Wan offers. Oh, I can't wait for that episode, Vivek chuckled, reminiscing about his own confrontations with the dark side. Amidst the searing, infernal landscape of Mustafar, Darth Sidious and his new apprentice, Darth Hillary, stood perched above a churning river of molten lava. The air around them vibrated with a sinister energy as Sidious, deep in thought, strategized his next move in the cosmic game that spanned the galaxy. I have delved into your mind through the Force and witnessed your cunning, Sidious murmured, his voice a blend of admiration and malice. Your skillful deletion of emails would have been an asset in the Galactic Senate. Thank you, my master, Darth Hillary inclined her head. Our spy within the Jedi Council has informed me the Jedi have sent an envoy to the Separatist leaders, Sidious continued, his voice a sinister whisper that seemed to blend with the hissing of the lava. The Jedi believe they can negotiate peace with the Separatists. Such a truce would significantly undermine our plans for the galaxy. Darth Hillary's eyes narrowed, her mind racing with strategies and possibilities. A peace between the Jedi and Separatists? We should destroy them like Libya. What is your bidding, my master? Sidious turned to face her, his yellow eyes glowing with an unholy light. The Jedi have dispatched ambassadors for these peace talks. If they succeed in swaying the Separatists, our grip on the galaxy will weaken. We cannot allow this to happen. I want you to intercept and kill them before they can meet with the Separatist leaders. Ensure that their mission ends in failure and death. Darth Hillary bowed her head in acknowledgement. I will not disappoint you, my master. The Jedi will not realize what's hit them till it's too late. A horrific smile crept across Sidious's face, foretelling nothing but doom and gloom. Excellent. Your allegiance and efficacy will be amply rewarded. Proceed, Darth Hillary, and let the dark side be your ally. As Darth Hillary turned to leave, her black cloak billowing behind her, Sidious gazes out over the hellish landscape of Mustafar, knowing that every move he makes must be calculated with precision. The unexpected emergence of Donald Trump and his influence over the Force introduced an unpredictable element into the equation, but if he could prevent an alliance between the Republic and Separatists, then he could unleash his war in full. Meanwhile, the Jedi and Ambassador, unaware of the looming threat, continue their journey toward the Separatist leaders. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ambassador Vivek, resolute in their mission, determined to bring peace to the galaxy, but unaware of the approaching threat of Darth Hillary and the oncoming battle. Making This Galaxy Great Again, Episode 3, Clinton Strikes Back. Continuing their journey, the Jedi Ambassador's ship glided through the cosmos, its destination, the planet Geonosis. Anakin and Obi-Wan, seasoned warriors of countless battles, sensed an unease in the Force, a shadow that grew darker as they approached their destination. Even the Ambassador, though not attuned to the Force, felt a tension in the air. As they disembark on the Separatist world, the landscape was a stark contrast to the opulent chambers of the Republic. Here, war was the only industry of focus. The air was thick with the smell of oil and metal. The ground trembled with the march of droid armies being readied for battle. In the distance, the figures of the Separatist leaders waited, their strange faces full of skepticism and suspicion. And so, the negotiations begin, a delicate duel of words and wills. The Ambassador, channeling the art of the deal, spoke with a conviction that surprised even the Jedi present. His arguments were compelling, his vision for a unified galaxy persuasive. Anakin and Obi-Wan stood guard, their senses on alert through the Force, vigilant for any sign of treachery. The Republic's proposal is a mutually beneficial one. Together in peace, we will all prosper. This war serves only the Sith's vile ends, the Ambassador asserted. But as the talks reach a critical juncture, the terrible sound of blaster fire erupted in the compound. Looking out the window quickly, they saw a short, hooded figure accompanying hundreds of clones, cloaked in the power of the dark side, bursting upon the scene with the fury of a bomb. Its lightsabers ignited, casting a sinister red glow over the assembly as they flew towards the parley. Anakin and Obi-Wan drew their weapons, their blades humming to life, ready to defend against the Sith onslaught. Darth Hillary paused at the threshold, her gaze sweeping across the room, locking onto the Ambassador, who remained defiantly composed. "Hello there," began Obi-Wan, but the Ambassador cut across. "Hey Hillary, did you pass Bill on Planet Epstein on the way here?" He taunted, his jibe slicing through the tension. The Sith, incensed by the provocation, hurled herself in a whirlwind of rage toward the Ambassador. Yet, her advance was blocked by the Jedi, their blades forming an impenetrable wall of light. The duel that ensued was cataclysmic, a cyclone of force and fury. Obi-Wan, a paragon of Jedi skill and wisdom, moved with an ethereal grace, his blade an arc of pure, controlled precision. Anakin, a tempest of raw strength and emotion, countered with aggressive, sweeping strikes. Darth Hillary was a typhoon of dark power, each movement a testament to her destructive hatred and blackened heart. The battle of the Force users shook the entire compound, and stray sparks from the clash of the lightsabers set surrounding equipment on fire. Soon their battle had engulfed the entire room in flames, each combatant now employing the Force to protect them from the heat of the flames. Despite their combined might, the Sith's ferocity was relentless. In a fleeting moment, a lapse in the chaos, Darth Hillary exploited an opening in Obi-Wan's defense. Her blade, a viper strike of death, pierced his heart. The Jedi Master crumpled, his essence fading into the Force, a light extinguished too soon. Anakin, witnessing the fall of his old mentor, his anchor to the light, was engulfed in an explosion of fury. The dark side, sensing its moment, whispered sweet promises of retribution and infinite power. His resolve fractured. He surged forward with unchecked rage, overpowering Darth Hillary in a storm of grief and anger. As he stood over the defeated Sith, lightsaber poised for the killing blow, memories of Palpatine's manipulation flooded back the moment he executed Count Dooku, a deed that haunted him ever since. Anakin's hand trembled, the dark side urging him to succumb to his vengeance, to end her life as she had ended Obi-Wan's. But then, a voice, clear and resonant, spoke through the Force. "Anakin, this is not the way. She must face justice for her crimes. Remember, She should be in jail, like many of her donors. It was his master, Trump, reaching out across the stars, his presence a calming balm to Anakin's grief-stricken soul. Anakin paused, the weight of Trump's words anchoring him back to the light. With a heavy heart, he turned off his lightsaber, his decision made. He bound Darth Hillary with restraints as she hurled venomous insults, her fate to be decided by the justice of the Republic. "I could have been the first female president," she spat. "I'll kill you like I killed Gaddafi." The aftermath was a scene of devastation. The separatist leaders, shocked by the violence, withdrew from negotiations, their fear of the Sith overcoming their desire to find peace with the Republic. Anakin stands among the ruins, heavy with grief and anger. The ambassador, though unharmed, is shaken by the ordeal. His vision of peace turned to ash. As they returned to Coruscant, the galaxy trembled on the edge of war. Anakin's soul was a battleground, his loyalty to the Jedi Order and the light side of the Force tested as never before. The dark side tempted him with promises of power enough to avenge Obi-Wan and to protect those he loved from any threat. In the shadows, Darth Sidious watched, his plans unfolding as he had foreseen. The death of Obi-Wan, the failure of the peace talks, the rise of anger and darkness within Anakin, all pieces in the grand game he now played. He knew the time was near when he would unleash his war in full, then the galaxy would be his to command. Upon their arrival back on Coruscant, the Senate was on edge with grief for the fallen Jedi, relief at the capture of a formidable Sith, and an underlying current of apprehension about the future. The trial of Darth Hillary was set to be a historic event, broadcasted galaxy-wide, as the Republic sought to showcase its justice and unity. Led into the Grand Senate chamber, Darth Hillary's chains were a stark contrast to her once formidable aura. Yet, even in defeat, she wore a menacing smile. The trial commenced under high security, with representatives from across the galaxy in attendance. The ambassador, leading the prosecution, presented a meticulous case, outlining the heinous crimes committed by Darth Hillary. War crimes, treason, murder, tax evasion, and that's not even in this universe. Hillary, he announced. But here, in this dimension, I'll just settle for conspiring with the Sith to overthrow the Republic and the murder of a Jedi Master. The evidence was overwhelming, the testimonies of survivors and heroes irrefutable. Anakin, called to witness, spoke of the fierce battle, the loss of his mentor, and the crucial moment when he chose justice over vengeance, influenced by Trump's guiding words through the Force. Darth Hillary, given the chance to speak, did so with a chilling defiance, showing no remorse and instead warning of deeper shadows within the Republic itself, shadows she claimed were ignored by those blinded by their righteousness and collusion with Russia. The trial progressed with the galaxy watching intently. Chancellor Trump, overseeing the proceedings, projected a calm yet determined demeanor, embodying the Republic's strength and moral conviction. After days of intense debate and deliberation, the verdict was delivered. Darth Hillary was found guilty on all counts. The chamber fell silent as the sentence was pronounced. Life imprisonment in a maximum security facility designed to contain even the most powerful Force users. This decision, influenced by Trump and the Ambassador's Council, was a statement of the Republic's commitment to justice and due process, even in the face of profound darkness. As Darth Hillary was led away, the Senate erupted in a mixture of applause and somber reflection. The trial's conclusion marked a significant victory for the Republic, but also a reminder of the fragile peace that hung like a thin veil over the galaxy. Anakin, his spirit still tormented by the dark side's lure, felt a temporary solace in the trial's outcome. Yet, the loss of Obi-Wan and the ever-present temptation of power continued to haunt him, a silent storm raging within. Back in the shadows, Darth Sidious observed the trial's outcome with cold interest. The imprisonment of his former apprentice was a setback, but far from a defeat. The Dark Lord's plans were far-reaching and complex, with each move calculated to bring the galaxy one step closer to his ultimate dominion. As the Republic celebrated its legal victory, the seeds of future conflicts continued to grow, nurtured by hidden agendas and the dark side's insidious whisper. The fate of the galaxy remained uncertain, suspended between light and darkness, order and chaos. And at the heart of this cosmic struggle stood Donald Trump, the unpredictable chosen one, whose actions and decisions would continue to hinder him. The question of whether he could truly make the galaxy great again remained unanswered. Sidious closed his eyes, willed the Force to send him warmongers. Suddenly, although Sidious had expected it, another portal appeared out of which stepped three men. Tony Blair, George Bush Jr., and Dick Cheney. "Welcome, my ambassadors of death," said Sidious with a menacing smile. Making This Galaxy Great Again, Episode 4, The Dark Coalition. In the deceptive calm following Darth Hillary's trial, the galaxy was like a patient in recovery, bandaging its wounds while an infection of darkness spread unseen. The new Sith Lords, dubbed Darth Dick, Darth WMD, and Darth Mislead Us by a cackling Sidious, were the masterminds of a sinister resurgence. "Arise, my minions of misinformation and mayhem," Sidious declared, his voice dripping with malevolent glee. "Go forth and sow chaos." Using their deep connections, the trio unleashed a campaign of manipulation so insidious it would make the Iraq War look like child's play. They infiltrated political systems, spreading lies and doubt about Darth Hillary's trial, portraying her as a martyr of the Republic's tyranny. Their deceit spread through the galaxy like a wildfire, sparking protests on various planets. Citizens, along with politicians whose moral compasses spun like weather vanes in a storm, clamored for Darth Hillary's release. The Senate, once a bastion of galactic governance, was now a circus of indecision and fear. Meanwhile, Anakin Skywalker, the poster boy for inner turmoil, found himself wrestling with a growing sense of disillusionment. Trump's voice through the Force was like a distant echo, struggling to penetrate the fog of confusion enveloping him. "Anakin, don't listen to the fake news," Trump's voice resonated within him. "Remember, there's only one side to the Force, the winning side." As the campaign for Darth Hillary's release reached a fever pitch, Trump, flanked by his Jedi advisors, held a clandestine meeting. "We're dealing with master manipulators," he declared, his face an unmoving orange mask of determination. "They've got their Sithy fingers in every pie from here to the Outer Rim and are trying to get in Hillary's too." The situation escalated into a full-blown spectacle when a demonstration on Coruscant, clearly directed by the Sith's unseen hands, demanded Darth Hillary's immediate freedom. The Senate, quivering like junkies in remission, convened a special session. After what could only generously be called a debate, they shockingly declared Darth Hillary a political prisoner and ordered her release. "Congratulations, Darth Hillary. You're free to go and wreak more havoc," muttered Anakin, watching the scene unfold with a mixture of anger and disbelief. The Sith Lords, meanwhile, celebrated in the shadows, their cackles echoing through the void. They met with separatist leaders, promising them support and sharing plans for a new droid army that would ensure their victory against the Republic. But they hadn't counted on Ahsoka Tano, Anakin's apprentice, who had been conducting her own investigation. Her findings led her down the dark alleys of Coruscant, through a web of lies and deceit spun by the Sith. "Master Anakin, the Sith are playing us," she reported, her eyes burning with a mix of fury and resolve. Anakin relayed the information to Master Trump, who stroked his chin thoughtfully. "Who are these new Sith?" he pondered. "Darth WMD, Darth Mislead Us, and Darth Dick," Anakin replied. Trump's eyes narrowed. "I've seen this before," he murmured. "Weapons of mass deception, leading us into battles we shouldn't be fighting. Sounds like my predecessor's work." "Who are they?" Anakin inquired, a sense of dread creeping into his voice. War criminals from my world, Trump replied gravely. Bush, Blair, and Cheney, the trio of terror. Anakin's eyes widened. Bad men? The worst, Trump confirmed, his expression darkening. Summon the Jedi Council. We're about to face an illegal war, and these guys are old pros at this game. The Jedi Council, once a calm conclave of wisdom and peace, now resembled a war room. At its center, Chancellor Donald Trump, flanked by Anakin Skywalker and the ambassador, addressed the assembly of Jedi Masters. Okay, folks, we've got a big problem, a huge problem, Trump begins, his hands gesturing with emphasis. The Sith are back, and they've brought friends, bad friends, the worst. Master Yoda, perched on his seat, stroked his chin thoughtfully. Indeed, the dark side clouds everything. Underestimate them. We must not. Trump nodded. You're right. We need to be smart. Really smart. I know smart. I've dealt with the best and the worst. Mace Windu, his brow furrowed, leaned forward. Chancellor, our priority must be to protect the Republic and restore faith in our institutions. How do you propose we do this? Well, Mace, the first thing you need to do is stop being a dick to my apprentice. Can you do that? Can you? Responded Trump, pointing an emphatic finger at Mace. Stunned silence greeted these words. Having a purple lightsaber doesn't make you special. It makes you look incredibly stupid. Yoda's ears twitched at Trump's blunt admonition to Mace Windu. The ancient Jedi Master clears his throat, a small smile playing on his lips. Respect each other, we must. Even if agree, we do not. Right, Chancellor Trump is. Dignity and respect, pillars of the Jedi way they are. Mace looked momentarily taken aback. His stern demeanor faltered under the dual reprimand. His usual stoic face turns a shade redder, a mix of embarrassment and simmering anger. Respect is earned, Chancellor, he retorts, and it goes both ways. Look, Mace, Trump interjected, I'm all for earning respect, terrifically so, but you've been throwing shade like it's the only force power you've got. Let's focus on the real enemy here. The Sith are spreading fake news, and you're attacking a Jedi. Yoda nodded sagely. Focus we must. Dangerous, the path ahead is. Clouded by anger and pride, our judgment becomes. Good, glad we got that out the way, said Trump, concluding the minor housekeeping. Next, we're going to build a coalition, a big, beautiful coalition of Jedi and allies. We're going to bring peace and order back and make this galaxy great again. Kaya D. Mundi raised a hand, his expression one of concern. But the media, controlled by the Sith, spreads lies and deceit. The galaxy believes we are the oppressors. That's where my new ally comes in, Trump announced, motioning toward a hologram of Tucker Carlson. Tucker is going to help us take back the narrative. He's going to be huge. Believe me. Tucker's hologram flicked to life, casting a blue glow over the council chamber. Good evening, folks. It looks like you've got quite a galactic mess on your hands, he begins, his voice a blend of charm and resolve. But don't worry, I've been dealing with fake news since before the Sith started their little temper tantrum. Mace Windu, still simmering from the earlier exchange, shift uncomfortably. And how do you propose we combat such widespread deception? Tucker gave a knowing smile. First, we're going to expose the politicians accepting bribes. We'll shine a light so bright on their corruption, they'll think they're blind. I've got a team ready to dig into every dark corner of the Senate. If they're taking Sith money, we'll know about it. Trump nodded approvingly. And after we've exposed the crooks, we'll reclaim the narrative. We'll tell the real story of the galaxy, the story of heroes fighting against the darkness, of a republic standing firm in the face of evil. Indeed, expose the truth. We must, Yoda chimed in. In the light, the dark cannot hide. Tucker's hologram gestured emphatically. We'll use every platform at our disposal. Holonet intergalactic broadcasts, you name it. We'll counter every lie with 10 truths. They won't know what hit them. Anakin felt a renewed sense of purpose amidst the planning, spoke up. What about the Sith Lords? How do we deal with them? Tucker's eyes narrow. The puppet masters themselves. Well, we'll need a cunning strategy to bring them out into the open. Disinformation, distractions, and a few well-placed leaks about their true intentions. Once we start pulling their strings, they'll be forced out. Ki Adi Mundi, still visibly concerned, spoke up. We must tread carefully. The Sith are cunning and will not take this assault lightly. Trump gave a confident grin. Let them come. We'll be ready. And when they show their ugly faces, we'll give them a lesson they'll never forget. This time, I'll bury Darth Hillary under the prison for what she did to Obi-Wan, said Anakin, angrily clenching his fists. Easy, Anakin, easy, Trump cautioned, noting the young Jedi's fury. We'll bring Darth Hillary and her Sith friends to justice, but we'll do it the right way. We'll make the legal system great again, and they'll get their fair share of prison time, believe me. Anakin took a deep breath, nodding slowly, his anger simmering just below the surface. Yes, Master. I trust your judgment. Tucker's hologram continued, and that's where Truth Social comes in. It's our main platform, our lightsaber in the dark, if you will. We'll cut through the lies with the sharp edge of truth. Anakin, with your insight and experience, you could be a powerful voice for this new venture. Ever considered a career change? From Jedi Knight to news anchor? Anakin, taken aback, laughed softly. Me, a news anchor? I've never thought about it, but fighting the Sith with words instead of just a lightsaber? It's an intriguing idea. Yoda's ears perked up, his eyes twinkling. A force for truth you be. Strong in you, the Force is. Strong in the truth, you would be. Mace, now somewhat recovered from his earlier embarrassment, added begrudgingly, I suppose it would be a novel approach. The galaxy could benefit from a Jedi's perspective. Trump clapped his hands together. Fantastic. Anakin Skywalker, the face of Truth Social. Ratings will skyrocket, and so will the truth. We'll be unstoppable. Anakin, a smile spreading across his face, considered the possibility more seriously. Maybe after we've dealt with the Sith threat. For now, my place is here, fighting the darkness. Of course, Anakin, Tucker assured him. But when you're ready, we've got a spot for you. Prime time Holonet. Anakin, his demeanor a mix of contemplation and determination, nodded thoughtfully. You know, the more I think about it, the more I realize I won't have to choose between being a Jedi and a voice for the truth. I could do both. I could fight as a Jedi when necessary, and with words when they're stronger. Trump beams at him. You're hired. A Jedi Knight and a news anchor, fighting the dark side on all fronts. You'll be a dual force for good. Yoda's eyes twinkled with approval. Wise decision it is. Carry the light of the Force you will, into the darkness of falsehood. Great balance in you, I sense. Tucker's hologram gave a thumbs up. Looking forward to co-anchoring with you, Anakin. The meeting concluded with a renewed sense of unity and excitement. Truth Social set to launch, with Tucker leading the charge and Anakin as its future star, balancing his roles as both a Jedi and a beacon of truth. As they prepared for the upcoming struggle, the galaxy watched with bated breath, waiting for the first broadcast from Truth Social, the platform that promised to shine a light in the darkness. The Sith Lords, unaware of the storm that was about to hit them, continued their scheming, oblivious to the fact that their reign of lies were about to face their greatest challenge yet.
Thanks for joining us.
Star Wars, Episode 5, The Clinton Menace Part 2. On the fiery landscape of Mustafar, fresh from her release from prison, Darth Hillary stood with her new compatriots, the infamous trio of death, Darth Dick, Darth WMD and Darth Misleadus. The air crackled with the heat of the planet and the simmering evil of the Sith Lords. Darth Hillary, her heart as cold and black as the voids of space, broke the awkward silence. I like this place. It reminds me of the good old days on Earth. The bloodshed, the deception. It was quite the show we put on. Democrats versus Republican. They all laughed menacingly. You're damn right. They misunderestimated me, but look what we did to Iraq. Darth WMD reminisced. Don't forget the spin I had to put on the war, W. MD's here, terrorists there. It was too easy. Darth Misleadus chuckled, a million dead and unlimited oil. Darth Dick's eyes glinted with malice as he joined in. True. You know, I surprise myself at times. We had the weapons companies in one pocket and the oil fields in the other. War meant profits, and profits meant power. Unlimited power. Sometimes I wonder if your parents knew the man you'd become and were good enough to warn the world by calling you Dick. The group shared a collective, sinister laugh, their thoughts turning to their recent endeavors in the galaxy. And now, Darth Hillary mused, we have a whole new galaxy to rule. Not yet. There's a new thorn in our master's side, Truth Social, cut in Darth Dick. Darth Misleadus snarled, yes, I'm working on it. I have my agents in place working from within to subvert the message. We must deal with this swiftly and decisively. Darth Dick nodded. There are rumors a Jedi has joined this Truth Social. Anakin Skywalker. Darth WMD smirked. We've dealt with worse. We'll crush this Truth Social and anyone who dares speak against us. I know that human beings and fish can coexist peacefully, but Jedis I'm not so sure about. Suddenly, the dark figure of Darth Sidious materialized from the shadows, his presence commanding and ominous. We have much to do, he hissed. Tucker Carlson and Anakin Skywalker are becoming problematic, rallying the galaxy against us and disrupting our plans. Darth Hillary bowed slightly. What would you have us do, Master? Sidious's eyes gleamed with a sinister light. Darth Hillary, you have experience dealing with pesky insurgents. You will end this, Tucker Carlson. Yes, Master. Do not fail me again. As for the rest of you, Sidious continued, turning to the other Sith, focus on this Truth Social. Discredit them, spread doubt and fear, but subtly. We cannot afford a full-scale rebellion. Continue to stir chaos across the galaxy. We must keep the Republic on its heels, unsure and divided. Only then can we strike and reclaim what is rightfully ours. If only we had Murdoch, our previous master, here, said Darth Misleadus, before he and the others bowed, taking their leave, each already formulating their dark fuckery as they dispersed. The volcanic landscape of Mustafar seems to echo with their malevolent laughter. Meanwhile, in the grand studio of Truth Social, Tucker Carlson and Anakin Skywalker were about to go live with their latest broadcast, a beacon of truth in a galaxy riddled with deception. The studio buzzed with a palpable sense of urgency and determination. Anakin, his Jedi robes replaced with a suit for the evening broadcast, stood ready before the camera, his lightsaber concealed in his pocket, giving an uncomfortable impression to those around that he was overly excited. Live in 3, 2, 1, the director cued, and Tucker's charismatic voice filled the airwaves. Good evening, Galaxy. This is Tucker Carlson alongside Anakin Skywalker, bringing you the truth, unfiltered and undeniable. Anakin added, tonight, we discuss the ongoing Sith manipulations and how we, as a united galaxy, can stand against the darkness. As they delve into their discussion, presenting evidence of Sith treachery and highlighting stories of resistance and courage, a sinister presence loomed. Unbeknownst to them, Darth Hillary, cloaked in shadows, approached the studio on the deadly mission decreed by Darth Sidious. Mid-sentence, Tucker's expression changed to one of alarm as security alerts blared. In a flash of darkness and fury, Darth Hillary burst into the studio, like a bitch in heat, her red lightsaber igniting with an ominous hum. Tucker, caught off guard, was thrust into the heart of danger. Anakin reacted instinctively, his Jedi instincts kicking in. He leapt between Tucker and Darth Hillary, his own lightsaber coming to life in a brilliant arc of blue. "Get back, Tucker," Anakin shouted as he parried a vicious strike from Darth Hillary. The duel was intense, a whirlwind of light and shadow. Anakin fought with all his might, driven by a desire to protect and avenge his fallen master. The clash of their lightsabers was a violent blur, illuminating the studio with each strike and parry. Anakin, fueled by righteous anger and a deep-seated desire for justice, pushed Darth Hillary back. But the Sith's malice was overwhelming, her power a dark tide against which Anakin struggled. As the battle raged, Anakin became acutely aware of the limitations imposed by his attire. His Tom Ford-style suit, stylish and sharp for the broadcast, was now a hindrance in combat. It clung tightly to his body, restricting his movements and making each dodge and weave more laborious. Anakin's usual fluidity and grace were hampered by the constricting fabric, his breaths becoming more labored as he fought to maintain his pace. He realized with a growing sense of dread that his choice of clothing for the show might now be a critical weakness against Darth Hillary's relentless onslaught. How could a being so evil exist, Anakin thought, as he struggled against the tide of darkness she wielded. As Darth Hillary sensed Anakin faltering, she intensified her assault. Her strikes became fiercer, each one a thunderous echo in the studio. Anakin, his agility compromised, found himself on the defensive, parrying desperately as his suit seemed to tighten around him like a vice. In a critical moment, Darth Hillary exploited Anakin's hindered mobility. She unleashed a flurry of strikes, each one a potential death blow. Anakin, struggling against both his opponent and his restrictive suit, felt a surge of panic. He was a Jedi, trained for battle, but now he was trapped in a cage of fabric and threads. Just as Darth Hillary prepared to deliver a devastating blow, her lightsaber arcing down towards Anakin's neck, a commanding presence filled the room. Donald Trump, Jedi Master, stepped forward, his own lightsaber in hand. With a swift and decisive move, he deflected her attack, saving Anakin from certain death. Anakin collapsed to the ground, exhausted, and watched the two Titans showdown. As Trump engaged Darth Hillary with a skill and finesse that belied his appearance, Anakin realized the importance of always being prepared for any eventuality. Lying there, catching his breath, he made a mental note to choose more practical attire for future battles. For now, he watched as Trump stood between him and Darth Hillary, the fate of the galaxy unfolding in a duel of light and darkness, of freedom and tyranny. "Enough, Hillary," Trump bellowed. "Your reign of terror ends now." Darth Hillary, her eyes burning with hatred, turned her attention to Chancellor Trump. "You think you can stop me? I've destroyed planets, ended civilizations, killed Gaddafi. You are nothing. I should have been president. Not you." And the final showdown began, an epic battle between the dark and the light. Trump and Darth Hillary exchanged heavy blows, their lightsabers clashing with a fury that shook the studio. Anakin, injured but not defeated, watched as his master confronted the embodiment of evil. As they fought, the galaxy watched, gripped by the live broadcast that had turned from a news show into a battle for the fate of the galaxy. Their chancellor, their hero, battled for their freedom from the oppression of the Sith. Every strike, every maneuver was a message, a symbol of the ongoing struggle between good and evil. Trump and Darth Hillary circled each other, their lightsabers casting long shadows. "You're a disgrace, Hillary," Trump taunted, deflecting her furious blows with deft moves. "You could have been a force for good, but you chose the dark side along with Barack and the other losers." Darth Hillary hissed back, her voice a venomous sneer. "I was always destined for greatness. You, Donald, are just an interruption, a minor blip in the grand scheme of things." They continued to duel as Anakin, struggling to his feet, watched in awe. Trump, with surprising agility, leaping across the room with a grace that defied his build, holding his own against the Sith Lord. The Jedi Master's actions spoke louder than any broadcast, a live testament to the courage and resilience of those who stood against the darkness. "You're all talk, Hillary, no action," Trump continued, his voice booming over the clash of their lightsabers. "Your lies about Russia, your emails. You're unfit for any office, let alone president." Enraged, Darth Hillary's attacks became more aggressive and reckless. "I will not be lectured by a buffoon. I will have my revenge for every defeat, for everything, even for Bill." Trump, unfazed, mocked her with a smirk. "Oh yeah? How's he doing on planet Epstein?" The battle raged, echoing through the studio and across the galaxy. Now fully recovered, Anakin joined Trump's side. Together, they pushed Darth Hillary back, their combined strength slowly overpowering the Sith. "This is for the Republic, for democracy, and for all those who believe in the truth," Anakin declared heroically. Meanwhile, Darth Sidious watched the duel from Mustafar, his expression darkening with each passing moment. "This bitch!" he exclaimed, realizing the setback Darth Hillary had caused to his dark plans for an empire. Sidious finally understood why she failed to become leader in her own world, as she was far too incompetent to be even a Sith. As the duel reached its climax, Darth Hillary, realizing she was outmatched, made a desperate attempt to flee. A sudden, blinding explosion covered her retreat. When the smoke cleared, she was gone, leaving the studio in disarray, but the galaxy more united than ever against the darkness that had been exposed live on broadcast. In the aftermath, Trump and Anakin stood side by side, their victory a powerful message broadcast across the stars. "We may have won this battle," Trump declared solemnly, his gaze piercing through the camera, "but the war goes on. We must remain vigilant, united, and always ready to stand up for what's right." Anakin nodded, his respect for his master deepening. "Yes, my master is right. The Sith will continue to spread lies and chaos, but as long as we hold on to the truth, they will never truly win." The broadcast ended, leaving the galaxy in a state of euphoric unity. The forces of light had won the day, but the dark side lurked, waiting for its moment to strike back. Yet, with heroes like Trump and Anakin leading the charge, the galaxy knew it had protectors ready to fight for truth, justice, and the galactic way. At that moment, the Force ghost of Obi-Wan appeared before Anakin. Glowing amidst the chaos of the studio, Anakin couldn't help but feel a sense of relief mixed with his usual penchant for wry humor. "Well, if it isn't Obi-Wan Kenobi." "Fashionably late, as always," Anakin quipped, brushing off the remnants of the battle. "Obi-Wan's ghost," replied with a gentle smile. "I see your sense of humor wasn't dulled by the duel, Anakin. And here I thought you'd be too preoccupied with your new broadcasting career to crack jokes." Anakin shrugged, a smirk playing on his lips. "Oh, you know me, Obi-Wan. I'm a master of all trade, just not a Jedi Master yet. Jedi Knight by day, galactic news anchor by night." Obi-Wan's apparition nodded approvingly. "Your victory today was crucial, Anakin. But remember, the Sith are cunning. Today's triumph is but one battle in a much larger war." Anakin's expression sobered. "I know, Obi-Wan. But with Trump and the entire galaxy watching, I think we've got a fighting chance." Obi-Wan chuckled as his presence began to fade. He imparted one final piece of wisdom. "Next time, make sure your pants aren't too tight." Back on Mustafar, Darth Sidious contemplated his position. The Sith had been unmasked across the galaxy due to Darth Hillary's foolish actions and defeat. He recognized the need for a dramatic display of power to quell the growing resistance. Fortunately, the newly completed Death Star, a colossal weapon capable of destroying entire planets, was just the weapon he needed. An evil smile spread across his face at the thought of its first target, Coruscant.
Thanks for joining us on this adventure. If you enjoyed the journey and are eager for more wild fan fiction, don't forget to hit that like button, share with your fellow fans, and subscribe for more episodes. And if you're as enchanted by the idea of Middle-earth meeting Hogwarts as we are, make sure to check out our series exploring this magical crossover. Your support brings these worlds to life. Until next time, keep the fantasy alive.